Hello and welcome to the Yet to Be Named podcast. I'm Anthony.
I am Dre.
And I'm Leo.
And oh boy, we have the very last final
Oh my
of this
God.
season. Episode number 010.
Cue in the fireworks.
It thing goes.
Round of applause for the last episode of the season. Yes, we made it, guys. We made it. It's actually the 12th episode. It's actually
technically
the
the 12th,
12th
yeah.
episode. We did 12
But it's
episodes.
still episode 010.
Yes, because you guys
We got
like
into
to
double
be fucking
digits.
confusing and start with 0.
Look, I like
Anthony.
it. I like
that
it a
was not
lot.
my idea, by the way.
No, it was not
Oh.
not our idea. And Anthony,
Nope.
what are we talking about today?
Of course, we have to end on a high note. So
'Cause
our
we
high
had
note
some
is...
heavy topics in the past 2 episodes.
Oh, yeah, it's been pretty intense.
Last episode was very intense.
Yes.
But in this episode, we're going to be talking about, do you have a friend in me?
Well, remember, we established that you are not my friend. These guys are my friends, but you are not my
Yes.
friend.
I don't know you guys.
Are we actually friends?
But before we get into the conversation, we must acknowledge that today,
Yes,
today,
today.
July 7th, 2019, it is
2019.
Anthony's birthday!
okay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Anthony.
Hey. Happy birthday to you.
All right. And we
Thanks.
actually did a little between, because we recorded 3 episodes today, and between
Yes.
episode 9 and episode 10, we had a little surprise birthday party for Anthony downstairs at the
Yes.
clubhouse. But we have a little gift for you, my friend Anthony.
Of course. Oh, boy.
And it is tradition. We do not pack it in a pretty package.
Oh, God.
We give it to
looks
him.
sketchy
It's
as
very
hell.
much singular.
Yep. All right. I wonder what it is.
Oh, no. It's a black bag. Oh, yes. All right. It has the shape. Is this Glenfiddich 12-year?
I don't know. Let's see.
It is Glenfiddich 14 years.
14.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
snap.
Wow. You would have never guessed.
No, bro. As soon as I touched this, I knew my heart was racing. I was like, I love this one. Oh boy, but I have to open it. There's no way I can't sit here and not open it.
So Anthony did not have the he had the Glenfiddich
Glenfiddich.
12 years, but never the 14 years.
Yeah, never the 14 years. All right, and this is American New Oak Finish. Ooh.
This is new whiskey Friday. Oh, Wednesday. Just kidding.
We're not making another beer
Oh
review.
boy,
No.
I'm so excited to try this. Bourbon Barrel Reserve, and it's a bourbon heritage. 14 years, and bourbon barrels add sweet notes of creamy toffee and ripe summer fruit. Dude, I'm so excited for this.
Cool. We will
Definitely
try
gonna drink
it
this.
after we record this episode.
Yes, you will drink that casually.
But as it's tradition.
I am not an alcoholic, I swear.
As it's tradition since a couple episodes ago when we celebrated Ashla's birthday, we're gonna go around and say something really quick, something that we appreciate about Anthony. Leo, go.
Anthony, you're one of those guys that we can always count on.
Oh,
You're like, whenever we have a project or something that needs to get done, you're always there. You don't give up until it's done. So that's something I really appreciate about you. When you put in effort, it's always 110%.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
Ashla, what do you think? Oh, Ashla got to run into the camera.
Bro.
Is it recording there?
Camera's right there, bud. Yes, he's recording. I'm so thankful for your friendship. I wish we could have, this friendship longer, like way
sooner.
back.
Yeah.
And I almost died here.
He says this to everybody.
Nah, that's not true. And I feel that, as you said for me at my birthday, and I feel the same with you, you are like a true guy. You always look to me and you say, exactly what you're thinking. And I appreciate that, And I love, to be your friend and to, been doing this. You really encourage us every time and, bringing us new ideas, and God, I'm so thankful. Thank you so much, man.
No, thank you.
Love you.
Nick. I love how you're positioning the mic away from you, but boy, you talking now.
Check on Google how to.
Yeah. Nick, can you fact check if Anthony is actually a true guy, please?
A true guy?
Yeah, that's what I said. Is he?
The fuck?
Is he a true guy?
It's like Google.
He's
Is
a
Anthony
real
Clay-
homie.
And then it pops up like this whole like article on it. It's like this guy is like terrible. He blew up something. at
According to
some place.
Yelp, Anthony has terrible reviews. Now, real talk. I've known Anthony since high school.
Yeah.
Shockingly
We went
enough,
to
I'm
the
still
same high
friends
school.
with him since then.
Yeah.
And since then, he's been nothing but like a real guy. He tells you exactly how he feels on things. He'll hear you out, but he'll make his opinion known, and he'll always be there for you, to comfort you, give you support, give you advice. Just like a little big bro.
Thank you.
You're
Appreciate
welcome,
that.
bud.
All right.
Thank you.
Andre.
Andre.
Anthony.
Yes.
No, Anthony, what do you think about yourself? What do you have to tell me?
What?
It's funny how Andre is avoiding.
Are you my therapist? am I supposed to tell
How
you?
does that make you feel, Anthony? I'm just kidding. But Anthony is a best friend in every sense of the word. I've known him since he was a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
It's gonna be how many
I
years
think that's
now?
when I met you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many years?
3,
3 years? Really?
5, 8 years.
Holy shit, 8 years. We back then I would have never thought that we would be living together, having
Yeah.
a podcast together. But
We're happily
anyways,
married, guys.
no. But I really appreciate you. As everybody else said, you're honest. You're very insightful. And I know that if Anthony has a feeling about something, I've learned that I better listen to that feeling, because usually 90% of the time it is right. You are great at
Thank
reading
you.
people and then telling people exactly what they need to hear so that they can be better versions of themselves. And again, kind of echoing what Leo said, when you want to do something, you're 110% there.
Thank you.
And something that nobody else said,
What?
I'm very grateful for the fact that because we live together, you put up with my nonsensical thoughts really late at night and my ideas and hey, Anthony, I know that you just came back from a 12-hour shift at work, but I really need you to help me to do some B-roll for the podcast this week.
God.
And he says, yeah. So I'm very thankful for that, my
Yeah, no
friend.
worries. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Coincidentally,
Appreciate it.
this ties into one of the questions I have.
Exactly.
So
This was the whole thing.
Yes.
So would like to go around and talk about the best and worst qualities of each other. So we've all talked about Anthony's best qualities.
Yeah.
We're talking about ourselves.
No, like about ourselves.
What the
But-
fuck? That's
About
a
each
curveball.
other?
I didn't know that this was gonna happen. What's going on?
Oh no! I think that's gonna.
That is not where we talked about. We're talking about Brotherhood, bro.
Yeah, Brotherhood, mate.
I mean, okay, you want to skip that?
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna skip that one.
No.
You know how long that's gonna
I
take?
mean, I thought it was going to be pretty interesting, See,
How
what
we
do
feel
think?
about each other? My
Yeah.
God.
Oh God.
This will be 2 hours.
No, I mean, all right.
We're gonna do this after the podcast, but I
Yeah.
think one of the questions that we wanted to talk about is the importance of brotherhood, right?
Yes.
Of having friendship, having bros, because I think that nowadays it's not something. Maybe not even nowadays. It was never something that it was super emphasized. The importance of having male friends, of having those guys that you call it your bros, because usually in our society men are kind of like lone wolves. They don't really open up to one another. They don't really talk about the things that they're going through. I mean, at least that's what we're told that it happens.
Yeah,
I would push back. I think at one point, I think the idea of camaraderie and brotherhood I think it was most prevalent in times of trouble,
war.
at times of war.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like know,
I mean,
And
yeah.
even
Well,
nowadays, if you see, let's say, people, military individuals, that,
they remember their troops. They remember what rank they were in. They
Yes.
they remember their names,
and they regard their fellow soldiers as brothers.
Yeah,
It's a family that they build in.
yeah.
But
For the average person who's not in military
But now,
You know,
so then let's kind of change the question a little bit.
or sports,
Do you see that, let's say, the same emphasis of brotherhood that happens in times of war in the military or in military personnel? Do you think that this carries over to the larger society in male friendships of individuals that are not in the military?
Probably not. It's not as common, or at least not in the way or the intensity that they talk about it. Like when I see veterans talking about their war buddies, you know, it's like it's something very intimate, very personal, and it means a lot to them. Like, you know, obviously today, like, you know, we got friends like, yeah, no, he's my bro, he's my buddy, I can always count on him and stuff. But, you know, it's not as common. I don't think it's not as common. Not the same intensity.
Fact checker, can you fact check that?
Oh God.
I'm just kidding.
He's like, I got you.
What about you, Anthony? Do you think that idea of brotherhood prevails in the larger society?
I mean, the way that you see it is like when you have a family, like that's it. Like it's you and your family. And that's how I grew up, at least, where my parents didn't really have like a group of friends that they were hanging out with or whatever. It was always like whoever they're working with. So like, I guess maybe tough times bring people together. Like tough times as in like when you have a busy day at work and you're all in it together. I think that brings everybody together. But I didn't really see them as when I was growing up having like this big, large group of people or of like five
Outside
guys,
of the
3
family.
guys. Yeah. Because like whenever we got home, it was just us. It was just our family. So personally, I have not seen that. I know that I've always had good friends, and whenever I went to school, like I had that group of friends, but you know, sometimes like when after leaving, I don't really talk to many of them anymore, honestly. Like I know that I talked to Tim, we still kind of connect here and there, but you know, even after that, so there isn't like this real bond where you think that you're going to continue to be connecting like for long periods of time. And I only found that outside of high school. Even though like Nick and I met in we've seen each other around in high school, but it was because outside of high school we were doing stuff together, and I think that's how we found like a friendship in it and all. But yeah, I think that in our larger society, I don't think it's really pushed as much as it should be. Yeah. I mean, the movie Tag though.
Oh yeah, that was very cool.
That was awesome.
Tag,
that was
yes.
really cool.
They were friends for like 30 plus years.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they played this one game, and that's what brought them together.
Even that
Game night was it?
No, not game nights, but
That one too. That one's awesome.
Grown ups. It's also a story about a group of guy friends that have
Yeah.
stuck together for many years. But before, because Tag brings another very good question. Before you go there, Nick, what about you? Do you see that kind of sense of brotherhood being spread throughout the larger society? That's something that's present that you've seen, especially in college. The importance of being friends with your bros, is that something that is?
See, it's a huge. I would say, yeah, it's definitely a prevalent thing. Guys always gotta have like their bros, and like it's like a huge thing. It's like you always like you sort of like judge a person by like what kind of people they put themselves around. So it's always like if they're hanging out with those group of guys, and they're that type of guy. You know what I mean? So it means a lot of like who you hang out with, and like, you know what I mean, and like the guys you bring forward throughout your entire life.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, what about you, Achila?
I don't know. I feel that most of people that I met here and everything was more like superficial, you know. And at the beginning, you know, living here, because in Brazil I have a bunch of friends. But even in Brazil, I met a bunch of people that were always talking like about superficial stuff, and I feel that people sometimes are really afraid to put up their like emotions and problems and everything.
When you say people, do you mean people in general or men?
Man,
Okay.
man, most men. I mean, it's hard for us to, brought up, say, hey, I'm scared about that. I'm afraid about this. I don't know how to handle that. And when you have like a friend that you can count on and say, hey, I'm struggling with this, it's really good that you can, bring out your real one. You know what I'm saying? So in my life, me, I try to be as much as I can like me, I don't like to say, hey, how's it going? And I really want to know, what people are passing, because I know that they're probably passing the same thing. So I think that in our society, like most men, they prefer to talk more about the shit that they did on the weekends than their real things,
So then, which that also brings up, there's two things that I wanted to bring, but from what Ashla said, what do you guys think? What is the real value that we can get, that men can get from male friendships, to form a brotherhood of friends? What is the value that we can get from that?
The way I think of it is like, sometimes when you're doing it by yourself, you have to feel like you have to have some type of backbone, that you need to be the one supporting yourself all the way through it, and like supporting your family type of deal. Like supposed to be the provider. I'm supposed to be like this person. All the weight's on me, and I need to have strong backbone. I need to be strong. But when you have the group of friends, and that's something with me, it's like, being somebody that came back from, I turned 18. I left my parents' house and I moved from Louisiana to back to Boston, and being somebody that knows that I can rely on some guys that, I've always been there for me. It definitely creates a understanding that I'm not in this alone, that I do have people that I can rely on and have a backing to whatever I'm doing. And not only that, but whenever I say something that's stupid, I know that they will say that you're being stupid, that you're saying something stupid. So it like gives me support. And so I think that that's one of the great values of it, is there is some type of backbone behind you.
Is that something that you get only from your, let's say, your bros, or is it from other friendships as well?
I mean, you can find that in,
other friendships
for sure. Yeah.
With, let's say, with
and coworkers.
But I'm asking, like, what does, let's say, a brotherhood have to offer that other type of friendships don't?
Oh no, because you're going through different things than a woman.
Mm-hmm.
A woman can't tell you exactly how you're feeling every moment, because for us sometimes it's like some things for women that are big aren't for us, and then we're tackling certain things on our own because they won't get it sometimes. And that's the way I see it. It's like there is a greater value when you're going through things, when you're talking to bros, because you're like, hey, I'm going through this right now, and you can talk to that person without them kind of like freaking out sometimes, like how sometimes women have a tendency to like want the best from you and want to keep pulling out the best from you. And then bros are,
which is a good thing.
Yeah, no, it's
women bring out the best thing in us for sure.
No, I'm saying this with the utmost respect to what they do.
I know that you're saying that. I just want to make sure that's what.
Yeah.
That's what people are getting.
Yeah, and as they're continuing to pull things out of you, like the greatness, you're like, man, I need to relax. Like you gotta, like, sometimes you need that time where you can actually talk about things without having to worry about somebody trying to keep pulling out more and more from you. And that you can rely on your bros to be there for you when you need to just laugh, or you need a backbone where they can support you and like saying, hey, I got you, bro. Like, don't even stress about it. Like, you don't have to stress on it all the time. Like, you don't have to worry about, like, things like that, where we're honest with each other, but we're not like, stab you until you do it or whatever. And sometimes, bros do bring the best out of you, but you know what I mean.
Sometimes they bring the worst out of you too.
That is true. That is true. That is very true. That can happen. I think it's interesting because I think for me, my experience with, let's say, friendships with other guys is, especially now, they serve as almost as a way for me to kind of bounce off ideas, especially things that I'm thinking, whether it's relationship wise or anything, so that I can come to my girlfriend with a better understanding of what I'm thinking.
So
it's almost like
technically it's a filter for you.
yeah, it is. It serves as a filter because you have to. Sometimes you have to be more delicate about the way that you say things to your girlfriend or to your wife. And I think that friendship with other guys really help you to kind of get all of that initial energy out, all of that initial anger out, frustration out, so that then you're like, okay, this is what I'm thinking.
Like when you're like, Malu's such a bitch, and then we're like, dude, you can't say that. You can't say that, you know?
I've never have ever called that. We're definitely gonna cut that part out because no. Never had called her. Yeah, I remember when Anthony called Gigi. Yeah. Do you want me to go on, Anthony?
Instigated much? I believe. I remember.
Malu, he never said that.
I did not. Please, God damn it, Anthony. Fuck. Make sure you find some bros that you can trust that would not spill the beans on YouTube, out of all places.
Oh, God.
Fucking YouTube.
It's out on the internet forever.
I'm not showing Malu this episode.
I remember Andre. He showed me a podcast of I forgot the name, but the
Ground Up Show.
Yes,
maybe not. It was something I don't know. Yes.
Yeah.
Go on.
He talked about the importance of friendship as men get older, because statistics show that as men get older and they start settling into families, they distance themselves from their friends.
Yeah.
So as Anthony said, once we get older and we have kids, our priority becomes our family, like our wife and our kids, and not ourselves and our friends, like the guys that we want to hang out with. And that, according to the study that he said, that can make men depressed, that can make men more suicidal. So I think it's vital that it's important for men's health to have those connections. I think it's something that's really missing out, because a lot of people say, oh, just tough it out. Oh, it's whatever. Life's tough, whatever. I can speak from experience. Since I work with my dad, I see my dad, I work with my dad on a daily basis. I can tell that, He talks about his cousin that lives in Brazil, and that's like his bro. Like the stories that he told, like this is the guy that they traveled all over Brazil with. This is the guy that, like one of his closest friends, and I can tell how much he really cares about him, because he's really close. So for my dad, I know his bro is all the way over there, right? So sometimes I feel bad that he can't see him on a regular basis and stuff like that. So. I'm just hoping that, the best thing I wish for my dad is to spend some time in Brazil to be with him.
Which is true. I've seen, I think, older men kind of, they do walk away from, not walk away. It's because priorities change, as Leo said. They kind of don't prioritize that time together. But I'm curious, because all of us three here, we're currently dating, and our priorities are a little bit different. They're a lot more flexible. But I'm interested in hearing from Attila, who is married to his beautiful wife Natalia, who was here. She put up with us for 2 episodes. But I want to know from him,
being the only married one here,
being the only married man here, what does a friendship with a bro? What does brotherhood give you that maybe you don't get with your wife?
And we're gonna find out on the next episode. No, let's do
you
it
don't
on
have
next
it.
episode.
I was gonna leave it naturally.
Oh,
just
okay.
trust
trust
the process.
Sometimes I don't trust
the process.
I'm sorry, anyways.
Leo, trust the process, bro.
Oh god. So we're gonna be back on our next episode. So
Not
stay
next
tuned
episode.
on
God damn it, Leo. Not next
part,
episode.
part
Can
2
you
on
stop?
Friday.
God damn it! Shut up.
All
See,
right.
with the
Part
Brotherhood
two,
right
part
now,
two.
shut the fuck up.
Part 2 on Friday. Follow us on social media on the description below. And we'll
Remember
see you
that
guys.
we had talked about that we're going to try to make this one a little bit more natural?
You're just cutting me off. All right. Anyway.
Because you cut me off.
So follow us on social media in the description below, and we'll see you guys on Friday.